So burn the ship. I remember reading about this in 48 Laws of Power, and Robert Greene, that's the author of that book, he went over the idea that this conqueror would, once they land on the beach, to motivate his people, he would burn their ships to let them know there's no retreat. There's only victory or death. And that kind of ultimatum is it's very it's very I would say shocking, polarizing, kind of you don't know how to feel about it. Um, but I think it applies a lot to life. And there's one other saying that I've heard that kind of applies to this one is saying that if there is a plan, if there's a backup plan to the plan, it usually means the first plan isn't good enough. And it's almost the same kind of core idea. And I think this applies so much to life. Recently, I've been trying to burn my ships, and a lot of my ships are very well taken care of, and that's not a good thing. What I've realized on my way home, and before I get into more this other topic, what I realized was when I get home, on my way home, there's a song that played back from 2018, 2019, and I think I was only 16, 17 at the time, and it really brought me back and made me realize how much I haven't changed in many ways. No matter how I've grown as an adult, there's many things that about me that I've kept since those times. And it made me realize that there were still many ships that I haven't burned. And I didn't come to this realization until just now, to be honest with you. And these ships are basically identities that I had before. And I don't mean like this personality changing thing, but who I was back in high school is not who I am now. But for some reason, I still identify with a lot of things I believed back then. And that's just because I can't let go of the fact that I died. Which is, I don't know, that's really how I see it. When you change so much, when the person in high school is almost unrecognizable, it's very scary. You have to think about it. It's actually very scary because what would the future you even think about your opinions now? It's any of the sacrifices you make now worth it if the future you doesn't even appreciate it? I mean, these are like kind of the questions, right? And I think the solution I came up with was that I had to burn these ships. I had to just let it go. I had to let go of whatever the idea is. Maybe I can go back to maybe that time so I can be like that again. Back in high school, maybe it was more carefree back then. And that's the idea. And there is no retreat. I mean, really, there is no retreat. I have no ships. I just have this idea of a ship, but really the ship's been burnt. Time doesn't allow you to go back. And that's one thing I've realized. I think you have to let go of your past identities. And it feels like you died. And it feels weird because you're thinking subconsciously, what if the future me doesn't care about my present me's opinions? And that's a very haunting thought. But moving on to another topic about burning ships is that when you make a plan, when you're in your early adulthood and you make a plan, I think a lot of adults, older adults, like 40, 50-year-olds, they failed, and a lot of them have given up in life, and they tell you to always have this backup plan. But I think if you truly set your mind and it's possible, like you can't be like 5'6" trying to get into the NBA. I think that's very unlikely. And if someone does do it in the future, congratulations. But you got to do something within reason, right? But if you're doing something within reason and you're working hard, you're working the hours, I just don't see how you'll fail because, quite frankly, the whole entire world is very lazy. I think we have a very laziness problem. But with that being said, I think you just have to really move past in life, to have this peace in your mind. You have to let go of your past identities, and to truly have a plan for the future. You also have to just put your all. You can't have this backup plan. Maybe you don't have a plan that is just all or nothing destruction, like gambling, right? You don't want to do this gambling like mentality, but at the same time, you don't want to have this fallback plan that you're working on at the same time. So you have this main idea you're working on, and then you have this fallback idea that you're working on at the same time, and that will just make it so that it is very likely you'll fail on your main idea. And I think that's what burning ships mean. I think you can't focus too much on the retreat. And also, to move on in life, to let go of the past, I think you have to let go of these past identities because you can't go back. I think oftentimes we have nostalgic music or movies, and we really just feel this dread because we're not letting go. But I think that's what it is. You have to just let it go. You have to just accept that it happened and it will never happen again. And I think that's where you find a peace. You burn the ships, you find peace, and you find success.